Good morning. Good morning. Now, when I was asked to give this address, my son thought about this with mixed emotions. He is extremely concerned that I'm going to do something. Look at him, shaking his head. He's extremely concerned that I'm going to do something that's going to embarrass him. I did have that blow-up picture I have here. When he was 6 months old, I thought you all would want to see that to see how he's turned. Just kidding. I got it. It is a pleasure to be in McLean today and a privilege to join so many proud parents, grandparents, family members, friends, teachers, administrators, and especially the graduates who are here before me in celebrating the remarkable achievements and the many contributions of the class of 2016. Already you and your classmates have demonstrated, I believe, a strong commitment to success, both inside and outside of the classroom. Many of you have risen above personal obstacles and overcome barriers to become a part of this community of learning. And all of you have put in long hours doing homework and given up evenings, weekends, and some of your favorite TV shows, though I wish you had maybe given up a little more on the TV shows, in order to fulfill the requirements that have led you to this day and to the diplomas that you all are about to receive. I also recognize that your education has been about much more than the time that you have been spent studying. Now, it's about the friends that you have made, some of whom will be with you for the rest of your lives, and the teachers that you will never ever forget. It's about the jokes that you all have shared, the conversations that you all have had, and the Mustang teams that you all have led to victory. Above all, it's about the skills and the knowledge that you've gained and what this knowledge will empower you to achieve as you begin to look toward the future. Now, many of you first came to the school as uncertain students. Since then, you've come to understand the workings of government and to expand your vocabulary. You've learned about the various sciences. You've studied math. Outside the classroom, you've enriched your communities by completing hundreds of hours of community service. This morning, as you look back on your time at the McLean School, there can be no question that the class of 2016 has shared moments that will always bind you together. But even more important than reflecting on where you've been and what you've already accomplished, I believe that this ceremony presents an important opportunity to consider where you're headed and to start thinking about exactly how you plan to get there. You are now at a point in your lives where it's time to become just a little more serious. Did you hear me, son? Just a little more serious. Mark, Jordan, did you guys hear me? And to be fair, Sophia, did you hear me? The experience, I'm not picking on them, they're all serious. Maybe checked out. The experiences that have defined your time at the school and the tradition of community service that you've inherited and strengthened will stay with you. They will continue to guide your actions, inform your choices, and shape your path forward. And in the years ahead, as you fan out across the country to continue your education and to lay the foundations for your careers, you should know that we have faith in each and every one of you. We are counting on you all. And we will soon be relying on you to use the skills that you've learned and the abilities that you've demonstrated here at McLean to serve your communities, to better our nation, and to enrich the lives of others. Now, that might seem like a tough assignment, and I know it can be a pretty intimidating thought. But the truth is that America has always relied on the contributions, the fresh ideas, the optimism, and the passion of its youngest citizens. And today, as we face a host of transnational threats and global challenges, the need for your energy, your innovations, and your leadership has never been more clear or more critical. Over 50 years ago this month, Attorney General Robert Kennedy shared a similar message with a group of graduates at Manhattan College in New York City. He knew that they, like all of you, would soon be taking charge of a future that was far from certain, in a world gripped by conflict and torn by violence. And he implored those graduates not to be satisfied with things as they were and to rise to the challenges of the moment. He said, in these extraordinary times, the knowledge, the vigor, and the versatility of educated men and women are in greater demand than ever before. And I do hope that you do your best to serve the nation's interests as you see fit, unquote. Now, as Robert Kennedy spoke these words, the civil rights movement was well underway. Just a year earlier, a group of freedom riders, many of whom were not much older than you, had braved bigotry, hatred, and violence to call attention to an unjust status quo. Sit-ins and marches were sweeping across the nation. A month after that speech, a young preacher named Martin Luther King Jr. was jailed in Georgia for attempting to desegregate government buildings. And almost exactly 1 year later, after the speech, Attorney General Kennedy helped two brave African-American students, including a young woman who would later become my sister-in-law and who was my son's aunt, Vivian Malone, to step past Governor George Wallace and to integrate the University of Alabama. Thanks to these famous leaders and to these fearless students and countless other advocates and activists who have spoken out, organized, and sacrificed in order to bring about transformative change, today we live in an America that our forebears could only dream about. Yet, as so many of you have seen firsthand, really despite the extraordinary progress that our nation has made since Robert Kennedy's era, and even in your own lifetimes, the hard work is far from over. Across this city and all around the country, long-standing divisions and disparities remain. Too many neighborhoods are scarred by crime. Too many young people are at risk of falling victim to gun violence. Some are more likely to end up in prison than in college. Unprecedented systemic challenges, from terrorism to climate change to inadequate legal representation for those who come before our nation's justice system, continue to threaten our ability to live up to America's highest ideals. Yet, if, as they say, what's past is prologue, and if this class's record of achievement is any indication, then I believe there is good reason for confidence in the future that your generation will create and the legacy of progress that each of you will carry forward and build upon. After all, there was a time when the thought of women and African Americans voting was simply unimaginable, when the idea that we might walk on the moon or map the human genome was more science fiction than science fact, and when the notion that this country might ever elect a woman or an African American as President of the United States or appoint a black Attorney General was practically inconceivable. If any of this sounds like ancient history to you, keep in mind that it's only because of generations of determined young people, people like you, who joined together to make it ancient history, to confront cynicism and to confront doubt, to promote equal justice under law, and to expand and extend the great promise that, as of today, becomes not only your sacred charge and solemn responsibility, but also your breathtaking opportunity. Every generation has the opportunity to improve our nation, to make it more fair, and to make it more just. Now, it is your time. No matter how you choose to move forward from here to make your mark, each of you will soon be compelled to find your own way to help lead and to fulfill your unique and extraordinary potential. Whether you aspire to a career in business, medicine, academia, science, journalism, the arts and music, or the law, whether you envision a future studying test results in the laboratory, bringing dangerous criminals to justice, designing sustainable buildings, pioneering the next wave of social media, or even running for political office, you will soon inherit the obligations that have always driven our pursuit of a more perfect union. And you will be called upon to seek new strategies for improving your country, serving your fellow citizens, and even reshaping the world in which we live. Of course, there's no way of predicting the obstacles that you may face, the challenges that you will surely overcome, or the future that you will dream up and then help to create. But now, no matter what comes next, you are ready. You're absolutely ready. In thinking about what you've experienced and accomplished here, I'm reminded of something else that Robert Kennedy said to those young graduates half a century ago. He said, and I quote, "This school does not train bystanders." Well, as the class of 2016 has proven, time and again, the McLean School trains leaders, not bystanders, leaders. And as you move on to the colleges, careers, and callings that will help you find your path and determine your life's work, I am certain that your knowledge, your vigor, and your versatility will lead you to conceive of a better world and to dedicate your lives to making what has always seemed impossible a reality. As I look out over this sea of bright young faces, I'm not just hopeful, I am certain that you will heed the lessons of history to answer the call of history. Congratulations on reaching this wonderful moment, and thank you all for allowing me to celebrate it with you. I am proud of each and every one of you, and most especially one of you. And I am counting on you all. A world that is still so riven with misgiving and despair is still full of hope, and it hungers for the possibility of change. You must use your God-given talents and acquired skills to make this world, your world, a truly better place. I know that each one of you has that ability and that possibility within you. Your duty is to make certain that what might be possible does not become what might have been. I am confident that you will meet your responsibilities, exceed your expectations, and help to transform our nation and this world for the better. Congratulations, class of 2016, and good luck to each and every one of you.